Willie D Live.
But first, I want to talk about something that's personal. Justin Riley, known by most people as Beatking, he was a Houston legend, beat maker, rapper, father, friend, son, good guy all the way around, fam. He died. And he died from health-related issues that could have possibly been avoided. I spoke to B. King about, I think it was about 2 weeks, maybe 2-3 weeks before he died. And we actually touched on his health journey, right? I mean, he was on the right track. He was, working out. He said he was eating right. He was trying. But, something went wrong, fam, and, he died. The result was pulmonary embolism, colloquially known as a blood clot. On Saturday, we lost Fatman Scoop. Fatman Scoop died of health-related issues also. At the moment, at least right now, we don't know exactly what that is. We don't know what it was. Sheila Jackson Lee, who was a congresswoman out of Houston, she also died recently of health-related issues, cancer. And so did Jacoby Jones. All of these celebrities and public figures who are dying of health-related issues is just a microcosm of our society at large. We got a major health problem in America, and it's time that we start paying a little bit more attention to it, fam. The most recent data indicate that 74% of adults are overweight or obese. Poor diet and physical inactivity are the main contributors, fam. We're talking about these chronic health conditions that include hypertension, cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis, and some types of cancer. The most recent data indicates that 74% of adults are overweight or obese. Poor diet and physical inactivity are the main contributors to chronic health illnesses, including cardiovascular disease, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis, and some types of cancer. I don't club a lot. When I do go to the club, it's usually to celebrate somebody else. If I get a homie or somebody, family member who say they celebrating something, I try to go out and support. It saddens me when I look over and I see people just turning those bottles up without a care in the world. I mean, they just having fun. Don't get me wrong, fam. I like to have fun. But turning those bottles up, not knowing, having any idea of what that intake looks like. You don't know. You don't know if you drink, 3 shots or 20 shots. At some point, the Reaper gonna come knocking. The Grim Reaper is going to come knocking, man, and it's going to be bad in the good old U.S. of A. We're going to have a major problem. It's going to be so many young people with blown out kidneys, blown out livers, dying of heart disease, intestines going to be all messed up, skin going to be all messed up. Alcohol abuse contributes to all of that. It's going to be bad, fam. It's going to be really bad. We gotta start paying more attention to what we put in our bodies. Do you know that human beings are the only animals that will purposely put something in their mouth and eat it, knowing that it will kill them, knowing that it will harm their bodies? We're the only species that does that. We can't keep going at this rate. Right now in hip-hop especially, man, we losing a lot of people from health-related issues. The drugs is a contributor, you know. Alcohol. Boy, that alcohol is something else. That fried food is something else. That red meat is something else. That cheese, those dairy products. I get it, fam. It's easier said than done. It's easier to just say, hey, you should be working out than to actually go out and work out. A buddy of mine who died of obesity-related issues several years back, I was talking to him, and I asked him to come work out with me. Like, come hit the track. I'm finna go, I'm running. Now, he was he must have been a good, 390 pounds, maybe 400 pounds, okay? 5'6". Damn, that 400 pounds. And I told him, I said, man, I don't want nothing to happen to you, man. Come on, work out with me. And he started laughing. He was like, oh, Willie D, man, you know, you're going to probably leave me in my tracks, man. You know, you're going to leave me. You're going to outrun me, man. You know, I can't run that fast. And I said, yo, brother, I said, it's not about how fast you do it as long as you do it. It's something that I learned when I was boxing. When I would train, my uncle, who was my trainer, would tell me, it ain't how fast you do it, son, as long as you do it. Because I used to be just going. He said, nah, man, don't trip on that. Don't trip on doing it fast. Trip on doing it right. You know? Don't trip on how fast you do it. You know, trip on getting it right. Trip on doing it. So, you know, like I said, working out is not the easiest thing to do. One of the things you can do is just start. Just like everything in life. You start something, and then next thing you know, you got it down pat. Even like when you start the first day of school, right? First day of school, whether it be middle school, high school, elementary, whatever. The first day, especially if you don't know anybody, you're kind of intimidated. And you get there, you go through the first day, you meet a couple of people, you learn a few new names. Shit, about a good 2-3 weeks later, somebody new at the school, and you showing them around. You showing them where the classrooms are, where the gymnasium is, and all of this type of stuff, where people hang out, who the cool people are, who the bad people are, who you need to stay away from. That's how that go. Take that first step, and the next step is always easier. Not saying it won't be difficult, but it's easier. If you want to work out, you can work out, You don't have to take off running. Don't worry about those people running those laps. Just doing like this lap. Don't worry about anybody lapping you, because guess what? That was a time when somebody used to lap them, right? That was a time when they first jumped out there, especially people who had to get their weight down. That was a time when they went to the track and they was winded after walking just a few feet. They were winded. Next thing you know, they're speed walking. Next thing you know, they got a little trot. They jogging. Next thing you know, they taking off. They moving. So it ain't how fast you do it as long as you do it. That drinking though, fam, that drinking, we got to do something about that. We got to do something about the food situation. But I keep going back to that drinking because I see that a lot, especially with younger people. When I say younger, I mean like people in their 20s and early 30s. It's bad with people in their late 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s. It's bad with them also. But that younger generation, oh man, they're a fool with it. Let me tell you something, fam. When you drink too much or you drink on occasion, the immediate effects are vomiting, nausea, and hangover, right? Might get a hangover. But the long-term effects, that's what gets you. That's what really gets you, because that alcohol got to go somewhere. That grease that you eat got to go somewhere. Our government is not doing a good enough job at awareness, prevention, and dealing with those who poison our food supply, our food and our water supply. They're not doing a good enough job with that. In fact, they're not doing a job at all, fam. If you got some money, they'll take it. What I mean by that is lobbyists run our politicians. We've been sold out to the highest bidder. It don't matter what you want to put on the shelf. You can put it on the shelf and they will accept it as long as you got a big enough check. They will sell us out. When you go to that supermarket, it's incumbent upon you to read those labels and to know what's in there. And also, even though you read the labels, you still gotta, you gotta read it with a grain of salt, because they could be lying. These people are allowing companies to manufacture meat. They're making up meat. They're creating chicken. They're like, man, you know what? Damn raising chickens and waiting and injecting them, because you know that at one point they was injecting them to make them, injecting them with chemicals to make them bigger or to make them have more babies and faster. Now they're just saying, you know what, the hell with the whole chicken. We can just make a chicken. We can just create a chicken out of thin air. And they're allowing this to happen. And none of these politicians got the balls to stand up and say, not on my watch. It's sad, fam. It's a cold game, man. It's a cold game.